Showing now?
Yep,
Okay,
there we
great.
go.
All right, beautiful. Thank you. All right, so in this webinar, we're going to cover why the Kindle market is on fire right now, the big secret that will help you double and triple your book sales on Amazon, how to get your book ranked #1 by using free Amazon promotional tools. We're having a little technical difficulty here. All right. Why reviews are almost as important as sales and top ways for getting them. The 3 common mistakes that kill sales when authors upload their books to Kindle. Key pricing strategies for consistent sales. This is an extraordinary opportunity. Right now, ebooks are outpacing hard copy books by 2 to 1, and 70% of all books throughout the world are sold on Amazon. So Amazon is a major player, and if you want to sell books, you have to be on Amazon. One of the reasons why Amazon is so powerful is because over 300 million people have their credit cards on file at Amazon, which means that when you have your credit card on file at Amazon, you don't even have to think about making a purchase. When you make the purchase, it happens automatically. They call it one-click purchase. And when you see a book for $2.99 or $4.99 or $5.99, you don't even have to think about it. You're making the purchase. And that's one of the reasons why they're so successful with their Kindle program. We'll talk a little bit more about pricing later if we have time. So another reason why Amazon is such an exciting place for a Kindle author right now is because free Amazon software turns every computer, smartphone, and tablet into a Kindle reader. People ask me all the time, do I need to have a Kindle Fire or a Kindle Reader to read Kindle books? The answer is absolutely not. What they've done is made it possible for everybody in the world who has a computer, smartphone, or tablet to turn that device into a Kindle Reader for free. So basically, the world is their customer. And as more and more people get online with these devices, the more there will be a need for content such as books. Okay, Amazon also provides powerful, powerful marketing tools. They level the playing field for independent authors and publishers. You can publish your book within 12 hours. Think about this for a minute. You have your book written, and in 12 hours, it can be up out into the world where it can make sales. Now compare that to a traditional publishing where you would have your book written and then it would go through a whole lengthy process and it might take 6 months or a year or more before a book would go up. Brooke, maybe you could just talk about that for a minute. How long does it take in traditional publishing to get a book out into the world?
My goodness, I mean, from the point that you sell the book to a publisher until it's complete, usually 6 months to a year, but that doesn't even take into account shopping for an agent. Most people are out there from start to finish about 2 years.
That's amazing. And that's after, and that's when people have written the book in many cases, right? The book is already finished, and then they're
Yep,
taking a year to two to get it up.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, here the amazing thing about Kindle is that once you have your book written and formatted, which doesn't take very long, can be done in a week or two, you can put your book up. So you don't have to wait a year, you don't have to wait 2 years. It could happen almost immediately. And once it is up, you can make changes to it. You can change the price literally overnight. You can change the content literally overnight. You can change the cover, you can change the title. Whatever it is about the book you want to change or update, you can do it literally overnight because it's digital information. So this is another wonderful benefit of doing business on Kindle. All right. So last but not least, the royalties are up to 70%. So when you price your book anywhere between $2.99 and $9.99 on Kindle, you're going to get 70% of the royalties. That is a huge, huge royalty payment. And again, compare that to traditional publishing where you might get 10% or 15%. It is quite extraordinary. Also, when you price your book below $2.99 and over $9.99, you only get 30%. So Amazon wants you to be in the sweet zone between $2.99 and $9.99, and that's where they're making their sales, and that's why they want you to be there. Also, Amazon is expanding like crazy. They just added Brazil. They just added Canada. A few months ago, they added India. So they are making great strides in expanding worldwide, and this creates great opportunity for us. I sold over 100 books last month worldwide, just outside of the United States. 60 of them were in the UK alone. I would have never had that exposure without Amazon and the Kindle program. Okay, so let's move on. Excuse me. So here's the big secret about Amazon. Amazon is one of the largest search engines. They have millions and millions of pages. Some experts say that Amazon is the fourth largest search engine. And what that means is to sell books on Amazon, you need to optimize your sales page. So Amazon is a huge database, and in order for your book to be found, you have to employ specific search methods and tactics, which I'm going to share with you now. Most important is to select keywords. Keywords are words or short phrases that allow you to search a database. So for example, if you wanted to find a book on tennis, you would type in the word tennis. If you wanted to find a book on making appetizers, you would plug in the word appetizers. And sometimes our keywords are phrases, so like playing tennis or playing tennis well. And we want to use these keywords to create titles, subtitles, and book descriptions, which are all searchable on Amazon. Let's talk a little bit more about that. How to select keywords and then create titles. So first thing you want to do is ask yourself what terms people would use to search your book. And then you'd want to jot down 5 or 10 titles in your books. You want to look at the top 5 or 10 titles in your books category from Amazon. And then once you've got some words that you think make sense to you about your book, you'd want to run those search words through the Google keyword tool. So if you don't know what this is a free keyword tool that allows you to see how many searches there are in any given month for your keyword or your keyword phrase. A very valuable tool. So if you're not using it, you're going to want to use it. It's the Google keyword tool. Now, once you go to the keyword tool, you'll want to make a list of keywords that are between 50,000 and 150,000 in monthly search in the United States. So below 50,000, you're probably not going to have that much interest in your keyword. And over 150,000, you might have too much competition. Now, there are some people who say that you don't want to concern yourself with the Google keyword search. Others say that you should. I think that you should because you want to have your book show up in a Google search. And if you do your keyword analysis correctly, then it will. So what I'm telling you here is that if your book shows up or your keyword is over 150,000 in monthly search, you're going to be having a lot of competition. And if it's below 50,000, you're not going to have that much interest. So someplace between 50,000 and 150,000 is a really good place to aim for. So the next thing that you want to do is go to Amazon and put one of your keywords in the search bar that comes up and write down the keywords. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So I'm going to minimize my screen, and I'm going to go to Amazon. Not that page. We'll try this page. Okay, so here we are at Amazon. And can you see that, Brooke? Hello?
Delay. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. So here we are at Amazon, and up here is a search bar, and I've selected the Kindle store. So that's where we're selling our book, and here are a whole bunch of other categories for other products they sell, but we want to be concerned with the Kindle store, so we click on the Kindle store. Next, we're going to plug in our keyword. So let's say that our keyword is tennis. All right, so what's come up is a whole bunch of words here that have already been searched at Amazon many, many times. So tennis, we want to skip over these because they don't concern us, but tennis books, tennis partner, tennis biography, tennis shoes, these are all possible keywords. So maybe you're doing a specialized book on tennis shoes. Well, this is wonderful. Then you'd want to be sure to have this term in your title, either in the title or the subtitle. And another thing that you can do here is begin to type in letters. So we have tennis A, what comes up, tennis autobiographies, tennis anatomy, tennis autobiographies and books, and then we could go tennis B and see what shows up, tennis balls, tennis bags, tennis beginners. So we can start to take some of these keywords, and the closer the words are to the top, more likely they're more popular than the words down here. Okay, so this is very interesting. You could go through the whole alphabet that way and get different ideas for not only your titles, but for other books. Okay, so let's go back to, not there. We want to go back here. All right. So, can you see that okay now?
Sure can.
Okay, terrific. All right, so you've got a list from two places, from Amazon and Google. So, and remember, you'll need 7 keywords for Amazon when you upload your book to your Kindle page. So you're looking for 7 keywords, with 1 or 2 being principal keywords. So the next thing that we're going to want to do with those keywords, after you've created your title, is to upload them to your KDP page, which looks like this. So if you've already uploaded a book to Kindle, then you know that there's this part on your KDP page which says target your books to customers and search keywords. So you want to put your keywords in here. And if you haven't seen this, when you load your book up, you'll come upon it. All right. So once you have your keywords from Amazon and Google, then you're going to work on creating 3 to 5 titles. You want to be sure to include your keywords and subtitles, and then you want to test the title. So what I like to do is to create a free survey on surveymonkey.com, and then send a note out to my database and get the results of that. And that generally tells me whether I have a good title there or not, or people are leaning in one direction or another. You could also post the title to Facebook, which will get you some great feedback, and will also get people excited about what you're doing, and they'll be able to get involved with it. So this is how you want to create a title that is searchable on Amazon. Now, if you're somebody like Deepak Chopra or Oprah or James Patterson, then all this is probably not all that important, because you have such a huge database to draw from. You have such a huge fan base just waiting for your next book to come out. But if you're like the rest of us, then it's really important that you take advantage of the search functions of Amazon and create your titles accordingly. Okay, so I want to do a little case study here for you. This is Casey's book. She's online with us. And Casey, do you want to talk a little bit about what happened with your title when we discussed the search function?
Sure. Well, before I started working with Howard, I had a totally different title for my book, and one that I thought was clever and it made sense, and it was called Keys to Young Living. And little did I know that had I gone down that road and not used the techniques that Howard just went over, that I would have made a major mistake, because when Howard trained me on how to do the keyword search, I found that there was, I don't know, something like, 150, global searches a month on the keyword phrases that I was using. And again, although it sounded kind of nice and dynamic, it would have been a really, really bad choice. So we worked on this, and that title has a very specific keyword to it, both on Amazon and Google. And then take a look at the subtitle. And these are very strategically, hours were spent on this, Howard. You and I spent hours on this, looking up and trying to find the best niche. And some of these words don't fall into 50 to 150,000 global searches, but that was okay, because my market is also a little bit narrower. So some of them are over, some of them are under, but they were all appropriate. And so this made a very significant difference, not only in the search engine optimization, but also the results that I got ultimately in Amazon under their search as well.
Right. Thanks. You know, something else that happened when we were working on this book was your cover. And I like to tell people, or there's an old saying, you can't judge a book by its cover, but you can judge a book by its cover because that's the only thing other than the title that people have to look at when they go to Amazon. So we're talking a little bit about search engine optimization on Amazon, but I'd like to just take a side trip here for a moment and talk about the importance of getting a good cover, because the two top things that are going to sell your book are the title and the cover. So the title, by number one, what is it conveying, and then also from the search perspective. And the cover is really important because that's all people have to go on. Whether they're going to want to read more or see more or order your book, they have to be enticed by your cover. So your title, your subtitle, and your cover are the three, let's call them three, most important aspects of selling your book. So
And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, Howard, let me just say this, that, you really directed me well on this. We actually had several other samples that I used a couple of different artists to do this. And at the end of the day, spending a little bit more, I mean, the difference is stunning. I mean, it is just, you can't even put a price tag on the difference. And people say all the time, that's a stunning cover, not only from an image perspective, but the way the font jumps out at you, everything. So a lot of little details, even though it looks like, oh yeah, that's a cover.
Right, right. Good point. Thanks for bringing that up, Casey. So people sometimes want to create their own cover, and what you end up with something very unprofessional, and that's going to come across and it's going to hurt your sales. Sometimes people spend $5 or $10. They go to Fiverr, and I know many of you have heard of Fiverr. You can go get a cover done there for $5. Unfortunately, you're going to get what you pay for. And I would say to you that there's 3 or 4 really good places to find designers. One is elance.com, a second is guru.com, and the third is Odesk. And perhaps the fourth, 99 Designs, where people will actually create designs and then bid for your job by creating the design. So you put up a price, what you're willing to pay. They have a minimum, I think, of $200. And you put up your price at $200, and the designers go ahead and create designs and submit them to you in a competitive environment. So you get to choose which cover you like. So I would say to you that you want to be spending most likely a minimum of $50 or $60 and no more than $200 or $300 to get a good cover done, and it's going to make all the difference in your sales. All right, so let's move on from there. So once you've got your keywords established, you're going to want to use them in your book description. So you want to start the first sentence with your keywords and use it in the last sentence if possible. And the other thing you want to do is sprinkle them throughout your description. So there's a little bit of a formula. You want to be using 2 or 3 keywords for every 100, so it doesn't look like they've been packed in there. And that's a term that's used in SEO, which is packing the keywords. We don't want to do that because then it looks funny, it reads funny. And we've all read content online that has keywords packed, and it's just a funny sounding thing, and we want it to look as natural and read as natural as possible. All right, so let's talk about an outline for a good book description. So number one, we want to identify a problem. Number two, we want to describe how your book solves the problem. We want to list 4 or 5 bulleted benefits. Testimonials if you have them, and if you can get testimonials for people who have some social standing, in other words, they're known in the community or in the world, then all the better, but that doesn't have to be that. Optionally, a note from you, and perhaps why you wrote this book or what the book is going to do for you, the reader, and a brief summation of the benefits, and ask for the order. And the reason I bring up this outline for you is I see so many book descriptions that are just poorly done. And they're poorly done primarily for a couple of reasons. Number one, they have a whole bunch of information that has nothing to do with the benefit of the book. Remember, the reader wants to get something out of your book when they buy it. So we have to put ourselves in their shoes and tell them why they should buy the book. What are the benefits for it? What problems are they going to solve? How is it going to make your life better? And we have to make it easy to read. People want information quickly when they're searching online, so it's good to have some bulleted items. Even in when it comes to fiction, what I'd like to suggest is that you consider taking a paragraph from your book, one of your best written paragraphs, and put it up on your description, and that will help you generate more sales also. So I know some of you must be having some questions by now, but again, I ask that you hold them, and we'll get to them at the end of our training. All right. So now I would like to talk about KDP Select, which I know many of you know about. This is a very, very powerful marketing tool. The KDP Select program is the great leveler. It allows the independent author, the small publisher, to compete with the big guys. And even the big guys aren't fully comprehending what to do with this yet. So when you enroll in the KDP Select program, you get two amazing benefits. Number one, Amazon will allow people to borrow your book. So not just anybody, but Prime members. And as you might know, Prime members are people who have spent $79 to have a special membership that gives them expedited shipping. It allows them to get content, to download movies and TV shows, and it allows them to borrow Kindle books. So once a month they're allowed to download a Kindle book, and when they do that, when they download the Kindle book, when they borrow it, you as the author gets paid. Now, what is amazing about this is that when the program started, there was a pool of approximately $600,000 to $700,000 a month that they were sharing with authors. So based on how many books were borrowed on your account, you were paid some share of this pool. So originally it was like $2.35 for a borrow. Not bad. But recently, in December, they doubled the pool. So it's now at $1.4 million, which means that anytime somebody borrows a book that you've written, you're going to make $4 to $5. And this happens in the United States, and it's happening worldwide through all Amazon stores, or all Amazon countries, I should say. So this is an extraordinary opportunity to add significantly to your royalties. And in many cases, you're going to make more money on the borrows than you are on the sale of your book. So if your book is at $2.99 or $3.99, let's say it's at $3.99, you're selling your book at that price, you're going to get 70%, or approximately $2.80. If somebody borrows your book, you're going to make more money on it than that. And you're also going to make more money than you would on a traditional publishing contract. So the borrows are an incredible opportunity for you. The second thing that is an incredible opportunity for you is the giveaway. Amazon allows you to have 5 days where you can give your book away for free over a 90-day period. So let's look at some of the benefits of that. First, your book will be given away to hundreds, if not thousands upon thousands of people. Casey's had an extraordinary experience, which she's going to talk about in a minute for you with that. So in your book, you want to be sure to link your book to other books that you may have written, and perhaps a free offer to send people back to your website so you can build your database and let them know about other products, other services, other books that you have coming up. Now, what's really exciting about this is that the giveaway of your book will drive your rankings, both in your categories as well as Amazon overall. And what that means is that you're going to see a surge in your rankings. Your book will go to the top 10, and it could compete with major publishers and authors that have been around for a long time. I have books that have beat out major writers, that have beat out #1 books, or books that have been number 10 in the category and have been there for years. I put up a book, and I've done my marketing right, and the next thing I know, my book is beating out their book. And it is really exciting to see. So this is the great leveler. Certainly you can get into the top 10 in your category, and you'll remain there for a few days. You may remain there after your promotion. You might remain there for a few days. You can remain there for a few weeks, or even a few months if you've got a good book, or ongoing. I've got a book that, which I'll show you in a few moments, that initially, when I first put it up, didn't do that great. I changed the title, did my SEO, and launched the KDP program, and it's been selling consistently 100 to 300 books a month. So that's really exciting. And I want to just take a moment for another little side trip here. And I want to tell you that I've been writing books since 2002, and I wrote my first book at that time, which broke even, made a few dollars, didn't set the world on fire. But I got excited about books. I saw it as an amazing platform for creativity and writing things that might help other people. So I continued to write a few more books, and my books all broke even, never really set the world on fire. Well, a couple of years ago, I started hearing more and more about Kindle, and about 13 months ago, I decided that I would convert my first book to Kindle and put it up on Amazon. So that was back in January of 2012. And at that time, I ran my first KDP promotion. And honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew there was a promotion. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was for. But I thought, well, here's a way to get my book in front of people. It can't be bad. So I did the KDP promotion. And I didn't even check my statistics. 2 weeks later, I had come back, and 100 copies of my books were sold. Not borrowed, not given away, but after the weekend that I did the KDP promotion, I had 100 books sold. I came back 2 weeks later, and I saw there were 200 books sold, and I made close to $2,000. I had to look at it 3 times to believe that that actually was the case. That weekend that I did the KDP promotion, I had given away thousands of books, and my book had popped into the top 100 on Amazon. This was so exciting. At that moment, I thought, oh my gosh, what I'm going to need to do is convert all my books to Kindle and quickly write as many as I can, and I'm going to be rich in 6 months. I'll be making $20,000 or $30,000 in 6 months. Well, it didn't quite happen that way. I've had some success with Amazon. I've had some failures, but that's the learning experience. But overall, it's been fantastic, and I'm selling a lot of books, and I'm going to sell more books, and it's very exciting to see what happens with this KDP program. So let's come back to what to expect. So whatever number of books you sell in your first week after a KDP weekend giveaway, you'll sell approximately 50% more in the next 3 weeks. So if you do a weekend giveaway and like a Saturday and Sunday, and those are the days that I recommend to you, then the following week, whatever you sell, let's say that you sold 100 books, well, over the next 3 weeks, you'll probably do an equal amount. So you'll probably sell another 100 books, 200 books for that month, and then 50% the following month. And then you need to do your KDP promotion again. At that point, you might want to change your category and implement some offline marketing as well. So if you get your book, if you're lucky enough to get your book into the top 100 during your KDP promotion, Kindle will help you sell a lot of books the following week. This is really exciting. One of the questions that I saw on the registration forms is, will this help me or hurt me when it comes to getting an agent? Well, if you're interested in getting an agent and going the traditional publishing route, there are agents looking in the top books on Amazon, the top Kindle books. So if you can get your book into the top 10 for a weekend, there's going to be a lot of people noticing it and a lot of action happening. Very, very exciting stuff. All right, so here's how to get the most from your giveaways. You're going to pick 2 days or 3 days. Saturday and Sunday are best. And it's even better if it's on a holiday weekend because there's more people around. So if you plan on a Saturday and Sunday, let's say over President's Weekend, and the holiday is on Monday, you can expect a really nice spike in sales on Monday. You also want to make sure you have at least 5 to 10 reviews on your site. And if we have enough time, we'll talk about reviews. So reviews are important because they let other people know that your book has value. There's social proof that your book has value. Secondly, you don't want to invite people to a ghost town. So when you do your KDP promotion, you want to make sure you have at least 5 to 10 reviews before you do your promotion. And then you want to do a little promotion off of Amazon as well as the KDP program. So you want to announce your giveaway on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, all social media. You want to do a press release, send a message out to your database, post it on your blog, and free book sites. And there's a service on Fiverr that will send your book out to free book sites. And I think the woman sends it out to something like 20 free book sites. And this is a great service. It's very inexpensive. It's like $10 or $20. And your book will be posted on 10 or 20 free book sites. And this is good not only because people will come directly from that to your free day, but or free days, but also you'll be getting the backlinks to your Amazon page, your Amazon sales page, which is really important also. So Before we get on to reviews, I want to take a moment and bring Casey back because she had some extraordinary experiences with her KDP giveaway, and I'd like her to share that with you, if you would. Casey?
Sure. Well, I basically followed the system that you outlined, and the week or about 2 weeks prior to the actual KDP dates that I wanted, I went and registered for that. That gave Amazon some time to promote it within however that magic happens on Amazon. And then I also engaged a couple of people on Fiverr to promote it for me. And then 3 days prior to my launch, I posted it on my social media and my LinkedIn accounts. I had just established a Twitter account, so that probably wasn't a whole big help, but followed the checklist and did the promotion, and I gave away 9,770 books.
Say that again. Say it again.
9,770 books, and I went to number 22 on Kindle KDP. Kindle Bookstore, which is just extraordinary. I mean, beyond I wanted to break into the top 100.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm being greedy, saying maybe I'll get to the top 10. But we got it to number 22, and more importantly, and this to me, where my book is important, is the back end. I had put links in the front part of the book, like you had suggested, drove people to squeeze pages on my website, and not only did I make 6 significant let's call them sales from those giveaways, and you might say, well, who cares about 6? But I've had over 50 people go and opt in that are now in my autoresponder system. So for me, it was the grand slam of grand slams, and as I'm sure people on the call will recognize at the end, I only wish that this webinar and this special were available instead of what I paid. But it was worth it. It was still worth it.
Okay, we'll make it up to you.
Well, and Howard, I'd love to come in for just a second to say about my own promotion. And a lot of people are sending questions, and I do come out of traditional publishing, and so I do just want to kind of make a little point here about traditional publishing versus self-publishing and Kindle and all of that. I was really excited about the opportunity to try the KDP promotion and see how that would go. And, coming out of traditional publishing, I can tell you that a lot of traditional publishers are really over this model. They don't want to do it anymore, in part because they're not seeing the spikes on the tail end. But I can tell you, as a self-published author, I really did see the spike, and it was really rewarding for me. And so, I published through She Writes Press, which is, of course, I'm the publisher of this company, and it's a hybrid press. And so we have control of our own KDP, and our authors can do these promotions. And for me, it was really phenomenal because I got 2,000 downloads, which, I didn't know what to expect. And after the fact, my sales did actually spike. And, within the week following the promotion, I had substantial more sales than I had prior to the promotion. And some of you, I have mixed feelings about Amazon. I know that some of the people on the line do too. Taking down your other offerings from Barnes & Noble and IndieBound and other places, I was a little reluctant to do so, but the truth is that the majority of people are shopping on Amazon. Yeah. And I feel like, after my promotion was over, my book had 2 likes. After it was over, it had 65 likes.
Wow.
The spike on my social media was noticeable. I had someone reach out to me and ask me if I wanted to do a guest post, so the visibility was a lot of this. And so I want to, just kind of come in and tell the people that a lot of what I like to promote is building your platform, and this really is a powerful way to build platform. And for those of you who are traditionally published, you have to work with your publisher. You can't do a KDP select page on your own. It will override your publishers, or you won't have access to it. But publishers are open to doing Kindle promotions, and so you want to just talk to your publicist about what's possible. And in terms of giving life to old books,
I think a lot of what Howard's talking about is really, really exciting for those of you who have, books that are a year or two old, to go back to your publisher and say, hey, what could we do? Because there's really nothing to lose at that point.
Right, that's a really good point, Brooke. Thanks for bringing that up. And one of the interesting things that you can do with the KDP program, if you have multiple books, is to use one book to sell other books. So, I always put my other books. I have 12 books up on Amazon right now. I always put my other books in the back so that when I do a giveaway, I'm reaching a market that I want to reach, and they have an opportunity to find out about my other books and be led there very easily. But I want to come back. I want to come back to Casey's experience for a moment, because in addition to the many things that Casey does, she's also a Young Living distributor. Maybe some of you listening know that Young Living is an essential oil company worldwide, and the MLM business is not an easy business. You have to work really hard to get distributors, and that's how you make money in that business. I mean, you can be in an MLM business for your own satisfaction and maybe make a few dollars, but if you're serious about the business, you have to have distributors. Now, through this KDP promotion, not only did she sell, was it 100 books your first week?
Yeah, 140. I ended up with 40 borrows.
Okay, 100 sales and 40 borrows, nice going. And what happened in terms of sales, though? What happened with picking up distributors? I think this is phenomenal.
This was extraordinary for me, again, because my book had a particular reason behind it. Quite frankly, I wasn't that concerned about the actual book sales, which sounds bizarre to people online, but I was really more interested in engaging people to get them as distributors. So I ended up getting 6 distributors, 4 customers, and over 50 people that opted in to get more information. So for me, that back end was just really blew my wildest dreams away, because when you're giving away books for free, you think, oh man, gee, 9,770 books. If I made $1 on each, but you can't look at it that way. There's just so many other intangibles, and like Brooke said, I mean, I got 52 likes, 32 reviews, and all kinds of additional exposure. So it was, I'm trying to, duplicate it now, working on the next book. So, I want to just completely duplicate that.
Fabulous, fabulous. That's great, Casey. All right, so I'm noticing the time. We're at 4:43 Pacific time. I have a lot more information. I'm going to cut to some other piece of information, because we just won't be able to cover it all and stay within the hour, and I want to honor everybody's time, especially those on the East Coast. So I've given you a lot of information, and I'd like to stop for a moment and ask you a question. And the question is, and we're going to put this up on the screen, we're going to take a little poll, so Brooke, if you would do that.
Yeah.
Based on what you've heard today, do you believe that a training on how to market books on Kindle would help you sell more books? So based on what you've heard today, do you believe that a training on how to market your books on Kindle will help you sell more books? So you can answer yes, maybe, if I had more information, or no, I don't think it would be helpful. So if you would just respond to the poll, we'll take a few seconds to allow that to happen, and pretend you're listening to some Jeopardy music, and we'll be back at you in a couple seconds. There it is.
All right, I think that's pretty solid. About 75% of the votes are in. Thanks, everybody.
Wow, thank you. That is that's really wonderful to see. So from your positive responses to the poll, obviously most of you see the value of this information helping you sell more books on Kindle and Amazon. And I just want to mention to you that just because you are on Amazon with a Kindle book doesn't mean you can't be on with a hard copy book, and vice versa. And the two go together really well, and one helps sell the other. So when I do this kind of training, this type of Kindle training, one-on-one, I charge $250 an hour, but we know that most aspiring authors are not working with big budgets. So after working with Brooke and seeing the impact on her book, she asked me to create a very affordable 4-week Kindle training program for this community. And because there's so many of you on this call interested in learning how to market your books on Kindle, we can make the training very affordable to you. If a number of you would like to take a training by using this webinar format. So let me show you what we have for you. All right. So we have a 4-week Kindle training that starts on February 7th and goes through 28th. The dates are the 7th, 13th, the 21st, which is the 13th, which is Wednesday, not Thursday, because that's Valentine's Day, and we know you want to be with your sweeties. So we made it on Wednesday. And in this training, you're going to learn the proper way to upload your book to Amazon, advanced pricing strategies for your KDP, more than what we've talked about today, how to determine if there's a market for your book. So sometimes people write books, they get excited about the idea, and they go through all that work and effort, and there's no market for the book. So I'm going to show you how to determine very easily whether there's a market for your book or not. And if there isn't, how to reposition your book so that you can get some sales from it. How to load your book into the Kindle publishing page and avoid the big mistakes that cost authors sales. How to select the right categories for your book. How to force Amazon to associate your book with top books in your category. This is very exciting. How to double or triple your royalties. How to make your description look like Amazon itself has written parts of it. How to set up marketing off Amazon to drive people to Amazon. Advanced SEO strategies on Amazon. More on getting reviews. We really didn't talk too much about getting reviews, but there's 5 or 6 really great ways to get reviews, and I'll share those with you in the training. I'm going to answer your questions and much more. Now, my consulting rate, as I mentioned, is $250 an hour, and for 4 hours, that'd be $1,000. But for this 4-week training, 4 hours, for everything we just talked about, you're only going to pay $99. And you're going to get 3 bonuses. The first bonus, you're going to get a hard copy of Brooke's book, a step-by-step guide to get you from inspiration to published author. This book is a must for any writer. So you want to get this book. Whether you take the training or not, you want a copy of this book. Bonus number 2, 3 information pack reports that will help you get started on the road to selling books on Amazon. You can have these in your hands tomorrow or tonight, and they are how to create a winning title. So we're going to review some of the things that we talked about tonight in that report, along with some more information. The secrets to killer sales on Kindle, and 9 ways to ignite sales with books and ebooks. And for the first 20 people to register, we're going to give you a 3rd bonus, which is a half-hour, is 1/2 off an hour consultation with me. That's $125 value. But we still have more for you. We have a premium training package, which includes everything that we just mentioned, plus a half-hour coaching session with me. So you're going to get not only a voucher for half off, but you're going to get, in addition, a free 1/2 hour coaching session with me. So, and for the first 20 people who register for this premium package, you're going to get unlimited email to me for those 4 weeks of the training. So we're asking $159 for the 4-week training. Now, that alone, the emailing is worth $159, because whatever questions you have, how many ever questions you have, you'll be able to email me for 4 weeks, and I'll get you on track and get you making sales. So you have a couple choices here. You can do the premium training package for $159, or you can do the standard training package for $9.99. It's really up to you. Now, Brooke, do we have the URL for registration?
Yeah, I've posted it a couple of times already, and I'm posting it again right now. It's
okay.
She Writes Press / Kindle training.
Right, and I have it up on the screen here as well.
And
so,
I just want to pop in, to say that a lot of you are asking very specific questions, and some of them I'm trying to work on it, answering some of these, but specific to children's books and fiction and all of these things. And I would definitely encourage those of you who have very specific questions to take advantage of this and get Howard's time. A consultation with him specific to your book is worth the cost of the webinar alone. He has, he's a wellspring of information and helped me so much in conceptualizing my own book. At the time that I did my KDP promotion, my book was already published, and so I wasn't in a position to really think about retitling or anything like that. But I got so much valuable information. I reconfigured my description. I did, keywords. I did tagging. Like I said, it was just a huge education. And whether we like it or not, Amazon is here to stay. It is absolutely the primary place that you're going to be selling your book as an author for the foreseeable future. And Howard really is an Amazon expert. And so on that note alone, you guys are going to get a lot of valuable information for now and in the future.
Great. And I want to thank you for that, Brooke. And I also want to add is that this is something that's happening right now. This is an opportunity to take advantage of Kindle, because every book that you put up there is going to enjoy exposure for the rest of your life. You could think of every book as an annuity for the rest of your life. And Amazon is expanding like crazy. I mean, the ebook market expects to grow to $2.5–3 billion within the next couple of years. This is phenomenal growth. And as this happens, there is a tremendous opportunity for us authors, us independent authors, for publishers, for anybody who's dealing with books, to get a piece of this pie. And it's not brain surgery, and it doesn't require long hours of learning to get this. You just need to spend a little time being pointed in the right direction, and the rest will happen. So, if you love books and you want to sell them and you want to get on Amazon, take advantage of this training at this price. It will be phenomenal for you. So, Brooke, I think I'd like to take a few questions at this point while we still have a few minutes.
Absolutely. Well, I think the number one question that's been coming through that I've been fielding here is just about the exclusivity with KDP and the fact that you have to take down your book from other sites. Could you speak to that and
Sure.
the benefits and I also think the fallouts of that, if you see any?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really great question. That's a question I get a lot, so I'm very happy to answer it. So basically, in order to take advantage of the most powerful tools on Amazon, you have to let them have your book exclusively for 90 days, which means that you can't sell it on Barnes & Noble or iTunes or anywhere else during that 90 days. Now remember that 70% of all the sales are happening on Amazon. And occasionally, a book will not do well on Amazon, and it'll do better on other platforms. So with that being said, it's well worth trying Amazon for 90 days. Another strategy that people employ if they want the other platforms is to use Amazon for 90 days and then pop into the other platforms. So that will get your book going. You'll start getting reviews, it'll gain some popularity, you'll make some money, and then you can pop into the other formats. But it's definitely worth a try for 90 days to take advantage of the KDP program.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I mean, the amount of, the learning curve on this is really steep, and Howard's been at it for a while, and so there is just a lot of exciting stuff to learn on Amazon, whether or not you, feel that it should be the primary place. And a few other people are asking, is there going to be anything of value in your 4-week webinar for novelists and for children's book writers? I mean, can you help people who are outside of nonfiction?
Absolutely. You know what? We're going to talk about things that are SEO oriented and things that aren't SEO oriented. So even tonight, we touched on reviews, we touched on price, and we really didn't get into pricing very much, but we're going to talk about getting reviews. We're going to talk about pricing. We're going to talk about marketing off of Amazon. We're going to talk about your description. And I would say to you that right now that kids' books are really hot on Amazon. The digital book market, the ebook market for kids' books has grown 475% last year alone. So the kids' book market is red hot. It's on fire. I'm helping many clients work with kids' books, and we can absolutely talk about that, and we'll talk about it. And the same thing for novels. Novels are really hot right now on Amazon. It's a great category. Another great category is health and wellness. So those two categories specifically that you mentioned are really hot, and we will definitely touch upon them in the training.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's great. And what other people are asking about interactive books, I mean, links and things like that. Is that something that will be covered?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about links and when to use them, when not to use them, and what can be put in there, what can't be put in there. We'll cover that in formatting your book.
Fantastic. And I'm getting a clarification question just around what are the two offers, and so I'm just going to go ahead and repeat here, and they are
Please,
on
go
the
ahead.
page. So please go to shewritespress.com/Kindle training. If you're doing just a regular 4 weeks, you get the bonuses, you get my book, you get the reports. The reports will come immediately as soon as you sign up, and the first 20 people get a consultation, half-off accounts consultation with Howard. Now, the bonus for the 159 is unlimited access to Howard by email, which, honestly, I would jump on that because he knows so much stuff. And for those of you who have, very specific questions and really want to, figure this thing out and crack this code, then, access to him is huge, and he will, answer all of your questions and will take advantage of that. So I hope that clarifies, and, just please jump on over there to shewritespress.com/Kindle training. And if I see a couple of you have had, a little bit of technical problems, don't hesitate to email me at brooke@shewritespress.com, and my name has an E on it.
Okay, we have some more questions.
Yeah, people are asking, can you repeat the 90 days on KDP?
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of 90 days, you can repeat the 90 days. In fact, Amazon, the way it's set up, Amazon is going to automatically enroll you for another 90 days unless you tell them not to by unclicking the box when you enroll in the KDP program. So you can do it as many times as you want. And there are some specific strategies that you want to employ when you do that, though, to keep the numbers high. And we'll talk about that in the training also.
And then question here, how long will these offers be available?
Our offers?
Our offers.
Well, I guess we haven't talked about that, but the training starts on Thursday, so it can't be any more than a few days. And
yeah,
fact,
I think that we will go ahead and leave registration up until Wednesday. We encourage you all to register sooner rather than later, and go ahead and pass the link on to anyone who might be interested in this. It's definitely something. I purposely brought this to the She Writes community and beyond because I was really excited about it. And so
right.
we want this to be available to people. We want you to take advantage of it. Coming out of traditional publishing, I'm learning a lot about ways to maximize sales and, alternative markets. And, I think a lot of us, especially on She Writes, the community of She Writes, I think, there's all of this hype around traditional publishing, but really to be an entrepreneurial author, to make money, just to be thinking about this in new and fresh ways. I mean, in my opinion, Howard has got that in spades, and it's something that, coming out of traditional publishing, I was just in awe of his information. So we'll leave it up until the Wednesday before the course, and it will be a week from today, and we'd love for you to join us.
Yep. Well, also, I appreciate everything you just said, Brooke, and I would like to add that, we're asking you for $99. This is an incredibly low fee. For what you would pay for a good dinner out, you're going to get so much rich, high-quality information that's going to serve you the rest of your life in your book writing life, that you'll never be sorry that you did this, that you'll never be sorry that you signed up for this training. Because you're going to get so much rich information that's going to point you in the right direction, and it's going to change your career. My career as a writer has dramatically changed. I'm making enough money to go full-time with it, and that is really exciting for me. And I'm really excited about sharing it with you, with other people. And you can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it. So.
And one final thing that's coming up, Howard, is people are asking if it will be recorded, and the answer is yes. If you sign up and you can't attend the sessions, we will make them available to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll also get. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. They're also going to get an outline a PDF outline of the training each week so that they can have that to refer to as we go through the training. And then if you can't make the training, then by all means, we'll have the recording up and you'll be able to access it after the training itself.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you all so much for being on the call today. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Howard, for being here. Thank you, Casey, for sharing your experiences. I'm really just thrilled by the turnout and all of your participation and great questions. Many of which I'm going to try to answer actually on my Facebook page, because there are tons and tons of good questions here. And so I'm going to try to reproduce a lot of these on Facebook at Facebook.com/Warner Coaching, because I want to answer these questions and they're fantastic. And I'll put up links to Howard's Facebook page and web page as well, so that we can all be in conversation. And thank you for the fantastic dialogue, and thanks again, Howard, for your information.
Well, thank you. I'm just delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for facilitating. Thank you, Casey, for being here. And most importantly, thank all of you that have been on the webinar. I hope you got something very useful from the